Now, if you're just tuning in, it's our ladies' night out, and we're asking if it's a must to leave an inheritance for our children. So we've answered the answer yes, but we want to now explain what inheritance should look like. But please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Tweet at us at WadeShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WadeShow, or you send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. We'll also open our phone lines now. Please, when you're calling, try to turn off the volume of your television set and keep your contributions within a minute so we can have more people contribute. All right, so let me come to you, Lami, because you've been itching to talk.
I said I'm pro-inheritance.
Yes, no.
I'm pro-financial inheritance,
Yeah.
but not at the detriment of the parents. I know that tough love is tactical.
Yeah.
To say it enables the child to be more motivated. But at the same time, I hear a lot of parents say, at your age, I know what I have done. At your age.
Suffered.
Let's be very, very realistic. In the present economy that we are at the moment, it is going to be very hard for some children to attain the level of success their parents attained at their age. Because a lot of things happen for them. So if I have money now, I would encourage my child. I will help them. I will help them because, yes, give them a springboard. Give them a springboard. Because when you have access to capital, it even enables you to get successful early in life. So it even takes off the burden. So I'm not going to deliberately say my child, no, you won't have access. No, if that child has not exhibited character, that would say otherwise. But if that child has exhibited character, that I know that they can take it to the next level, I would even go to the bank and get a loan for that child.
Very good.
Access to capital is very important in this world we are in. And it's not just it's not peculiar to Nigeria. It's world over. Everybody is suffering, every country is suffering from the aftermath of the pandemic. Even prior to the pandemic, there was global crunch and all that.
Yes.
So if I, as a parent, can help my child and get the first mortgage, won't it ease the life of that child? If I can buy a house for my child, won't he ease the life of the child by sending his children to good schools?
A research was conducted recently on children who were assisted by the parents, or they had some sort of leverage. And what we discovered was that, and those that didn't have financial leverage or some sort of inheritance, now they discovered that those that have leverage were able to move ahead faster. In comparison to those that didn't have any kind of assistance in the first place. And you can see that there is so much problem with those that have been left behind without parents, without any sort of financial
Because some parents are using it as an excuse now to say,
let
me take Richard.
I want my child to be motivated.
Okay. Let me take Richard.
Okay.
Thank you for calling, Richard.
We still look at it from another perspective.
Are you there? Hello, Richard.
Hello.
Thank you for calling. Let's hear what you have to say. Hello, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead. Oh, we lost him. Wow.
Because
So from
everybody,
that
all of
perspective-
your children cannot replicate your success.
Exactly.
Because your own could be a confluence of time, talent, and luck
In fact,
at your own time.
let me.
of a family.
You won the argument
I
when you
know.
said that the current economy today
Yes.
and the circumstances of success today is completely different from what our parents experienced, because it is actually tougher, to win now. There are so many factors that that our parents did not struggle with, and those before did not struggle with, that we have to deal with.
And we're even better educated.
Do you understand?
And we're still poorer than them.
Yes, yes. Let me come to Uti. Uti, are you there? Did we lose Uti as well?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, so what was the question?
No, I was just saying that, Lavi was really spot on when she talked about the current economy, the current circumstances and all of that. So maybe we should just quickly move, So what should be the kinds of inheritance we should be looking out for? We've mentioned education, we've mentioned character. Are there more things that we should be looking out for in terms of, inheritance, for our children to emulate?
No, so I totally agree with Lami. There's nothing wrong with financial inheritance. Let's not make it sound like it's the big boo-boo in the room. No. Leave plenty money for your children. Just don't leave them money that's going to drive them off a cliff. So there is definitely, for me, values, ethics. You do more, and I'm sure, everybody around the table, when we think about children, our children don't do what we say. Our children do what we do. So you have to essentially give your child, you have to act the way you want your child to act. That's the legacy that you leave for your child. If your child wakes up and sees their parent every day going to work, working hard, being entrepreneurial, having a job, all those things leave an impact on the child. So you also have to realize that even though you are, and let me stick to financial, even though you are wealthy, you are raising a child who's watching you and the way you treat money. So if you are disrespectful to money, it doesn't matter how you tell your child value money, what. The child is going to treat money the way they see you treat money. So your inheritance, what you're looking to leave to your child, is beyond the financial. You have to actually live a life that is worth emulating. You have to leave the child with values and ethics that actually secures them for the future. Because it doesn't matter how much you think I'm leaving the financial. What's the benefit of the financial? God rest her soul. Whitney Houston is dead today, so is her daughter.
Yes.
You know, who would have thought back in the day that Bobby Brown would be the one to outlive them all?
Yeah.
Right? But today, she's dead. Her daughter is dead. I think Bobby Christina died at 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
So who wants to do that? So really, when we think about it, we also have to broaden our horizons, making sure that the goal as a parent is always to raise the most well-adjusted adult citizen that's contributing to society in a valid way beyond anything else. Everything else that you leave to them is icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned. Because if you leave them with the right values, a bit of opportunity and God on their side, they'll make it.
In addition to what Uti said, part of the values is discipline. If you don't have discipline in life, you cannot make it.
So like me,
whether you got money from your parents,
it means that my children might eventually inherit that part of me, right?
Not even financial discipline alone, just physical discipline.
Everything.
You know when to wake up, you know when to go to work, you have good work ethics and all that. When I tell my children about house chores, you know, I tell them that it's not because I think that when you grow up, you won't have money to buy this thing.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to get out of the issue of house chores is responsibility, discipline, that I have to wake up and tidy up. I have to wash the dishes. It's just a sense of responsibility. I don't pray that when they grow up, they'll be sweeping themselves and all that. I pray that they have enough money to buy themselves this. But still, you need to imbibe that culture in them.
Another thing we can also do is also imbibe the culture of integrity. Integrity plays a huge role in molding a child or molding an individual to be functional in the society. And I agree with something Uti said when she talked about the fact that we have to raise people or individuals with strong values. Why? Because we have individuals who go, because they use that quote, leave your inheritance for children, blah, 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 blah. The key thing here is this, that in the cause of you wanting to do that, you don't have to be corruptible. You don't have to corrupt yourself. You don't have to steal. You don't have to put people under so much prejudice.
You even think those kind of money even last? Money that I stole, will the children not squander it?
That is the point. So because the child is already looking at you doing this, so you're already passing that same attitude to your child. So we should also look at this.
I was going to add to what you're saying, that
Yes.
most times maybe the reason we have so many gory stories about inheritance, that we don't have good tales like that of your aunt, you know, that you talked about, that, you know, she's on the 3rd generation, the business is going strong.
Doing well.
My stepmom.
Your stepmom, sorry. You know, maybe it's possible that some of those funds, I mean, the money that were inherited were also people's blood and sweat, you know, that was stolen, that, you know, that eventually they passed on to this generation. Maybe that's why it's not lasting. Because if you build genuine wealth, definitely
on a strong foundation.
Yes. If you even build genuine wealth, it is always under that strong foundation. There must be discipline involved. There must be things involved, you know. But I was gonna bring something to the fore, because we still have a bit of time. If you run a company, right, is it a must that your children must be the ones in the succession plan in terms of taking over the business? Or you can actually, you know, take on, because I see this happening a lot where people run a business, you know, they run an organization, and it's almost like sacrosanct that it has to be the child. And, you know, I don't want to bring, because we've posted them before here. Wait now.
I have a story to that.
You know my simple answer.
Yes.
You know my simple answer.
What's the answer?
Is vision.
No, where am I?
Wait, if your child or your children don't have the vision, you can simply employ somebody that can handle the business. The children will sit on top of the
You know, because
But
we've hosted them here before.
I'm doing like this to you. Can't you see my eyes? Mute it.
I should not say it.
Don't go there. Do you understand? It doesn't have to be your children. Because when I'm advising my clients on succession plans, I say, do you have a child that has your vision?
Exactly.
If your child does not have that vision, you don't have to compel them. You can hire somebody that has it and the business will still run. You see a lot of business, like this perfume, I can't remember the name, this very, very expensive perfume. I can't remember the name.
Is it Creed?
Thank you. It's in the 7th generation. Because they've been able to sustain the vision. And it doesn't have to be handled by your blood. You can pay somebody to be the CEO. But you know, Nigeria, it has to be, my child has to be the CEO. It doesn't matter.
Or Africa.
If I can't run a business, somebody else can.
Absolutely. Yes. Let's take Ade's comment.
Okay. But I have a story to that effect as well.
Okay.
I know of someone who has a child, and what he did was this. He had different kids by different women. He gave them, each of them, their role of... he distributed the roles to them. So the one that was in charge of the airline handled the airline. The one that was in charge of BDC handled BDC. And the one in charge of the school he has handles the school. So at the end of the day,
no, you don't get my point. I'm saying that what if, must it be that you must separate those, I mean, give those things to family? Because if you really want to live...
I'm buttressing what she said based on the fact that if you have a child or you have children that have interest in your business, then you can bequeath it to
But
your
if they
children.
don't have,
but
if
they don't,
excuse them.
But if they don't, then you have to bring in other people. Now, this is from Ade. He says, "Good evening, ladies. The best inheritance we should give our children is good home training and sound education. All other inheritances like money, estate, etc., can be in care of a trust till they reach matured age from 25 years above. Regards, Ade."
What did he say? The best inheritance we should give to our children is good home training.
And sound education. Any other thing we are adding to them, which is financial gain, is just, you know, it's just...
Okay, so we have some more comments. Uti.
So this is from Raphael Akori in Zaria. It says, "The most valuable inheritance in life is bequeathing education to our children. Many parents are trying desperately to buy the future for the children. But the irony of this life is that wealth is not everything. We need children with character and decency." You know, this quote or this comment actually reminds me of a scandal that broke. I believe it was a Hollywood actress. I can't remember which one now, who was like this whole racket of getting their children into Ivy League schools and paying their way into.
Yes, it's a Hollywood actress.
And you just think about it that so many parents do that. You try to buy an education. You can't really do it. You can pay for a good education, but you can't buy an education.
Exactly.
And, you know, these are some of the things that, like I said, when we're trying to make life easier, we're trying to use the money that we have worked hard for to make life easier for our children. Are we really doing the right things? Are we equipping them in the right way to be capable in the future?
Yeah.
So awesome comment.
But this is tough for us.
I even believe in early, if you want to bequeath to your children, bequeath it early.
Yes.
So that they can have, sometimes your father is way into his advanced age of probably 90 and you are probably 70 and he's just giving you. So what are you going to do with it?
Well, you see.
So if you can bequeath it early, why not?
But I want to bring something very, very strong because I've seen inheritance, material inheritance, bring a lot of risk.
Acrimony.
A lot of serious. I mean, I have one family now. The man had massive everything, you know, massive. But up till now, this is how many years after his death, they've not been able to reach, you know,
a conclusion,
a meaningful
middle ground
to be able to say, okay, you know what, let us share this property. So of what
did he die interstate? Or
you know, please speak English. I'm not a lawyer.
Sorry, did he die? Sorry, did he die without a will?
Yeah.
Or are they contesting the will?
I think they are contesting the will. I'm just saying that when you now amass all of that wealth and you have a family that is divided against itself, so what use is it? And this is me bringing it back home to Africans. Because that's why, you see, abroad, a Jaycee can get away with this. You understand? He can get away with it and say, please, I beg, he's not interested. He has looked at the boy's character. This one, he will just be eating my money. He should go and work hard for his own money. Me, send my money to charity. Nigerians, we feel that, you know, that entitlement that, it's my father's, I must get it. But now, when these people now die, you know, most times, it's always, especially for large families, there's always problem. So, what do you think the solution? You are the family lawyer.
Okay.
Maybe when they are alive, they should not wait till they are dead. Start distributing it.
No, I know somebody that has done that, who has physically handed over to his children all what is entitled to them, and has already placed the curse. If you deviate from this and this is what would happen. In that kind of case, in such a situation where the man
adhere to it.
You know the character of your children, you know the character of their mothers. From what you have said, it could be a polygamous setting.
It is a polygamous setting.
Yes. Just do a trust. Hand over everything to a trust and let them pay out yearly. Yearly payouts. That's the only thing that can sort the matter. There are a lot of trust companies that will do the job. Look at this, may his soul rest in peace, Ganifa Waime. He collapsed his law firm. He had children that are lawyers, but for one reason or the other, probably he thought that his children do not have the vision and the capacity to take on. He collapsed everything. He didn't say because I have children that are lawyers. Probably their own, you know, their interest is somewhere.
Was different.
And I think, I stand to be corrected, that most of his things went to a trust. I think First Bank or something, trustees. He handed it over to them and we've not heard anything since then. So I think people should look into trust. A lot of Nigerians don't even look into that, but it's a very, very helpful tool when it comes to succession planning.
I love what you said, and I think for me,
that's very enlightening.
It helps to put a lot of things in perspective. So if you understand that your children are not you know, they might not be able to handle the properties or whatever it is that you're going, you can actually, even to your fourth generation, just open a trust fund to say, you know what, this fund will take care of the education of the entire
even their grandchildren.
Even their grandchildren.
Yes.
I think it makes a lot of sense because then it takes off the burden of you thinking, oh, will this money be squandered and all of that? Because I think the biggest legacy you can ever leave for your children is what is intangible. It's not all the physical things that, you know, because the truth is, God rest his soul, one of my coaches always said, RDJ, he always says that what doesn't cost life can be replaced. Yeah. Do you understand? Meaning that even though I lose $1 billion today, as long as it's not my life that I have lost, I can make back that money. It's replaceable. So if you understand that principle, right? Even when you make some bad business decisions and you lose some money, it's easy for you to come back. And so for me, I want to take it a notch higher to say that if you have the wealth creation inside of you, regardless of because if you have wealth creation inside of you, this Jackie Chan's son, if it was 370 million the father was leaving for him, he can double or triple that if he has the wealth creation inside of him. But if you do not have it, that's when you begin to lose whatever it is that they're giving to you. So I like what we've talked about today. You know, the character, the discipline, and all of that. You know? So yeah, I think it's a sense of responsibility. I think it's a fantastic way to, you know, to have the conversation. And let us just hear like one final one minute from everybody. Uti, let me start with you.
I think we've said quite a lot today, but I think my final comment would be to the parents. I am a living testimony to my father went to a petrol station, slumped, and died the next day. Wow. And didn't have a will. And I think I have a picture of what I received from my father's estate, and it was a joke. It was like a joke, right? So, you know, when we talk about inheritance, when we talk about all these things, yes, you know, make the right plans. We know the culture we live in. We know typically even in single, polygamous marriages, we know how extended family members can come in and create chaos in the midst of grief and all of those things. So it's just important for me that, you know, parents make the right decisions whilst they still can, because a lot of the time people culturally, we don't want to broach the subject of death. It's just like insurance. People will buy insurance, but you know, death is one of the only certain things in life. So really just to plan ahead to make sure that if you do intend to leave an inheritance for your children, then you do it the right way so your children actually get it.
All right. All right, so somebody is disagreeing with Lam. He says, good evening. I want to thank you guys for a good job, as well as saying The lady on the white top in the studio that's Lami, or Lamide is her name, is contradicting herself. If a parent is to give all their wealth to his children, then why should a parent hire a CEO when your children don't have the capacity? Is that
I don't even understand this question.
I don't understand. So what we're saying is,
what's the contradiction?
What we're saying is, do not feel the pressure that when you run a company, your children
must
the ones that came out from your loins, like they say, must be the one to inherit the company. If you have seen that their vision do not align with yours, or they're not interested in that business, I mean, the best thing to do to keep that business going is that you can actually hire a non-family CEO that can run that business and take it
on behalf of them.
take it to greater heights. All right, so Lami, you have one minute each.
So for me, mine is balanced inheritance. You have to strike a balance. You need to know your child. What is too much for this child? What would really help the child, or what would drag the child back? So do an assessment, because your will is your last statement to your children. So that is your moment of truth. Sit down and do your analysis. Is this child capable to, take this thing or not? Do what is right by your children. And the essential thing is, as we have talked about, values, values, values. Discipline, culture of excellence, and responsibility.
Absolutely.
Sense of responsibility.
They've said it all. Sayome, what do you want me to add to this? But the key thing is this. What I can take from this is education. Education, a sound education, produces a good sound education produces sound mind. So let's work on giving our children the best education, formally and informally, which will take the children and to the higher level.
Absolutely. Okay, so director said I should be going. All right, so I just want to say that parents don't feel pressure to want to leave. We've explained that inheritance is beyond just the material things.
Yes.
But with the current realities of our economy, material inheritance would not be a bad idea. For you to be able to give the child, I like what you said, the springboard to be able to move,
Yes.
so that the child does not start from a basic, like ground zero.
Yes.
So if you have the capacity to do that, but if you don't, try to also instill those things, quality education, quality morals, and all of that. I think we've said everything that needs to be said about inheritance. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Uti. Thank you, Lami. Thank you, Isi.
But what happened to the phone lines today? I thought it was going to be buzzing.
It was buzzing, but they couldn't hear it. We are sorry we couldn't take your calls. Now, Ways was birthed from the need to inform, inspire, and influence lives towards action. And this year, we started our CSR focus on curbing unemployment in Nigeria. So if you're a company, please partner with us by allocating internship slots. And if you're a job seeker, keep watching Ways. And follow us on all our social media handles, as this will be an all-year-round engagement. So tell your friends to keep all eyes on Ways. Now, in case you missed today's quote, here it is again. Those who inherited wealth are taught to be more liberal than those who made it, since men are founder of their own production. All right, we'll see you live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy your evening.